Fear is the oldest shadow that walks beside us. It never shouts, it whispers. It hides behind logic, responsibility, perfectionism, and doubt. You tell yourself it's not the right time, that you'll start when you feel ready, that others won't understand. But readiness never comes, and understanding never arrives. Fear builds walls around you, disguised as protection, while quietly stealing your potential. You are not weak for feeling afraid. You are simply human. But to remain ruled by it is a choice. The difference between a prisoner and a warrior is not the absence of fear, but the decision to meet it without retreat. Centuries ago, Miyamoto Musashi understood what most of us still refuse to face. Fear cannot be conquered through avoidance. It must be transformed through discipline. In his final years, he wrote of warriors who learned to see fear as a signal, not a sentence. The samurai of the Bujinkan trained in the art of stillness under pressure, learning to turn anxiety into awareness, tension into timing, and panic into presence. They didn't try to kill their fear. They redirected it. To them, fear was a tool. Misused, it destroyed you. Used correctly, it revealed you. James lived as most modern warriors do, armored in achievement, exhausted inside. On paper, he was everything people admired: successful, competent, calm. But beneath that exterior, he woke each morning with a weight pressing against his ribs, a silent dread that no success could drown. Fear of confrontation, fear of mistakes, fear of being truly seen. He filled his days with constant work, mistaking motion for mastery. But the more he achieved, the deeper the fear burrowed. Until one day, it cornered him. In a meeting full of clients and expectations, his voice broke, his hands shook, his breath vanished. The room spun. He left mid-sentence, locked himself in a restroom, and sat on the cold tile as his chest caved inward. That was the moment he understood. Either he would learn to master fear, or fear would devour everything he built. At a friend's urging, he entered a Bujinkan dojo. The teacher, a quiet man with silver hair and a gaze like calm water, asked a single question: "Why are you here?" James gave the standard answers: self-defense, fitness, balance. The teacher smiled softly. "That's not true. You're here because you're afraid, and you want me to take that fear away. I won't, because if I could, you would lose the very fire that makes you alive." Fear, he said, is not the flaw. It is information. It shows you where the limits of your current self reside. It points to the edge of your growth. The problem is not fear. It is your obedience to it. Warriors learn to feel fear without bowing to it. Training began in silence. Not strikes, not forms, just breathing. 4 in, 4 hold, 6 out. Over and over. When fear comes, the sensei said, your body lies. It tells you that you are dying. The breath tells it otherwise. James practiced every morning, every night, every anxious moment. Slowly, something shifted. The panic that once flooded him began to dissolve. The fear was still there, but it had lost command. He was no longer a victim of it. Weeks later, the teacher introduced him to controlled discomfort. In training, 3 partners simulated attacks within inches of his face. His body screamed to flinch, to retreat, to protect. "Breathe," said the sensei. "This is not danger. This is sensation." Each time, James stood a second longer. Each time he realized he was safe. Neuroscience would call it desensitization. The samurai called it courage. If this lesson resonates, pause here. Breathe. Subscribe to Dojo Path. You don't need more motivation. You need training. Each week, we practice this same art of calm under pressure, transforming fear into fuel. Walk with us. James continued training. The next lesson wasn't about movement. It was about truth. "You have 2 enemies," said the sensei. "The one before you, and the one within you. The inner one is more dangerous because it knows your weaknesses." The teacher asked, "What fear do you never say out loud?" James hesitated, then whispered, "That I'm not enough." The sensei nodded. "Good. You can only fight an enemy you can see. While it hides, It controls you. He was instructed to write down every fear story he believed. I'm not good enough, I will fail. People will judge me. If I try, I'll lose everything. Then, one by one, he had to find the evidence. Not feelings, proof. The paper stayed blank. His fears had never been facts. They were old scripts written by habit and repetition. By examining them, he learned to disarm them. The mind lost its tyranny. Months passed. The dojo's walls became mirrors. Every punch, every stance, every breath revealed another layer of truth. When the final test arrived, James didn't hesitate. He knew exactly what it must be. Public speaking. The same fear that had humiliated him months before. The same one that once made him run. This time he walked toward it. He stood before hundreds. His heart raced. His palms trembled. His breath remained steady. The body still obeyed its old programming, but the mind was new. This is discomfort, he told himself, not danger. He spoke. The words wavered, then found rhythm. The room disappeared. Fear was still there, but it had lost meaning. When he finished, the applause didn't matter. The silence within did. That night, James realized something profound. Fear never truly dies. It transforms. It becomes quieter, smaller, more useful, like a sword finally in your hand instead of against your throat. He kept training. Fear appeared again in new forms. The fear of love, of leadership, of failure. But now, he had a system. Recognize the fear. Breathe deeply. Question the story. Step into the discomfort. Prove survival. Repeat. Discipline replaces drama. Consistency replaces courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is mastery over its rhythm. A coward runs. A fool ignores. A warrior breathes, watches, and moves. The mind remains calm as the storm passes through. This is Fudoshin, the unshakable mind. Not a still pond, but a deep river that keeps flowing beneath the waves. If you've reached this far, take this as your challenge and don't try to kill fear. Study it. Listen to it. Then act anyway. The next time your chest tightens and your thoughts spiral, remember, this is not death. This is growth. Fear is your training ground. Each moment you act despite it, you carve a new path through your mind. The Bujinkan did not teach James how to fight others. It taught him how to stop fighting himself. Fear became the rhythm of his progress. The difference between fear and freedom is only one breath. So breathe now. Feel the weight return to your center. And when life presents the next challenge, don't retreat. Step forward. Because fear was never the wall, it was always the door. Train your mind. Master yourself. Walk the dojo path.